And good morning, Sudoku friends, and welcome to an País expert puzzle. This is the puzzle from this morning being the 9th of March, 2024. We immediately see a couple of ones blocking here, so we can enter one here. There's also an obvious 9 that must go here because we have 2 9s blocking up, like so, and 1 9 blocking across. And we can enter a 9 in column 5. It needs to go here because all of these squares here are blocked by 9s. A couple of 2s block these 5 squares, so we can enter 2 here. We can figure out that these 2 squares must be a 4 and an 8, and this is how we do it. The 4 is a given, right? Because these 4s block here, so that one of these is a 4. But now look at this 8. It blocks across here and here and here. So one of these must be an 8 blocking across. This 8 also blocks across. And that gives us the 4 and an 8 for these 2 squares. We can't place them, but now at least we know that these squares have got to be a 2, 3, and a 7. I'm not able to place any of those, but I will try to remember a 2, 3, and a 7 for these squares. We have this 5 blocking these squares and these squares. And that means that one of these squares must be a 5 blocking here. And this 5 blocks here as well. So we're left with only this square for a 5 in block 6. And now we have to look upwards and see if that has any ramification, and it does. Got the 5 here blocking up, and this 5 blocking up gives us a 5 here. And since this 4 blocks this square, and we took away a possible square for a 4 here and gave it to a 5, and this 4 blocks across here, we can see that this must be a 4. And now we are going to have 4s either here or here, and here or here. Another thing that this reveals is that a 4 and a 7 here and a 4 and a 7 forces a 4 and a 7 to go in these 2 squares. And since we already have one 4 blocking here, we can assign a 7 to this square and a 4 to this. These 2 4s block down, and this 4 blocks across. So here's another 4. And remember what these were? 4 and 8, right? This is part of solving Sudokus without notation. We need to use our working memory. So here's the 8. And that 8 has ramifications up here. Because now this 8 blocks here. And this 8 blocks across. So we know that one of these must be an 8 blocking across. This 8 blocks across. This 8 and this 8 block up. So the corner must go to the 8. And now is a good time perhaps to look at these empty squares. There are only 3 left because we found the 4, 7, 5, and 8. We started out with only 2 givens. So now let's look at what's missing here. And missing are 1, 2, and 3. And look at this. 2 blocks here and this 2 blocks here. So we know that this is a 2. And these must be a 1 and a 3 pair. This is also a 1 or a 3, by the way. And having found this 2, we owe it to ourselves to look down and see if that has any ramifications. And it does, of course. Here's a 2. Remember what these were? All 3 were a 2 7 and a 3. Now we found the 2 and the 7 blocks down, so this must be a 3 and this be a 7. I'm making a mental note of the fact that 3 blocks across here, 3 blocks up here. So 3 must go either here or here, blocking across. So I know that one of these must be a 3. That in itself doesn't mean much, except now I will try to keep in working memory the fact that a 3 must go either here, here, or here. I'm also, of course, seeing the 7 blocking here, giving me a 7 here or here and here or here. And of course, the 9s in column 3 are restricted to these 2 squares. That might be important later on, but at the moment I can't make much use of that. So let me for a moment return to these squares. We know that there must be a 5, 6, and a 9. We do have a 5 and a 9 blocking here, so this is a 6. Which now blocks over here. We have a 6 blocking down here, so one of these is a 6. And that is probably important, but I don't know why. One of these must be a 9, so none of these can be a 9. So a 9 in column 2 is restricted to these 2 squares. And if you look at the 5s, this 5 blocks here and here. So the 5 and 9 are both restricted to these 2 squares. Now that might be important because now we have to deal with these 2 and they can't be 9 and 5. They must be a 1 and a 4. And since therefore none of these can be a 1, it follows that this must be a 1. That gives us a 3 here, a 1 here, and a 3 here. This 3 blocks up, this blocks down, and this 3 blocks across. 3 must go here. These must be 7 and 9. We can solve those because the 7 blocks up, giving me a 9 like so and a 7 like so. This 9 now forces a 5 here and a 9 here. These 2 9s block up. This 9 blocks across. 9 here and here 6. Blocking across here, 6s are blocking like this. So here is a 6. Now 1 and a 5 here, we can deal with that because the 5 blocks up. So here's a 1, it's a 5. We said that these are 1 and 4. Therefore, this must be a 6. The 1 here blocks across. This 1 blocks up. Here's a 1. And the last square here, of course, must be an 8 now. Now, maybe we should revisit column 5. We need to find a 2, 5, and 3, I think. Yes. There's a 3 and a 2 blocking here, so this must be a 5. And these must be 2 and 3. This 5 blocks up, so does this. So here's a 5. One of these must be a 3, and the 3 clearly blocks here, so this is a 3, and this is a 6. Now we have a 6 blocking down and across. Here's a 6. 2, 7, 8. 8 blocks across. Here's an 8. 2 blocks down. Here's a 7. Here's a 2. And here a 3. Now we know that this is a 3 and this is a 2. 3 blocks down here and across here. So we have a 3 here. And we can deal with this square now. It must be a 7. Blocking across. So we have a 7 here or here, and we have a 7 here or here. The other one here, of course, is a 2. And we can solve those because the 2 forces a 7 here and a 2 here, and therefore a 7 here. Here now we need a 1, and here we need an 8. That gives us an 8 here, and a 4 here, and here. And the last number is a 1, it goes here. That is it for today's expert puzzle from El País. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.